firefighters place themselves in harm's way every day.
So, are we all ready? So I state your name.
Across this country.
Do solemnly affirm
2018
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
nationally
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
9/11 related illnesses.
and I will fully discharge
The latest national compilation
the
placed
duties
the
of
number of firefighters who lost
member
their
of
life in
Assembly
2017
to the best of my ability.
and 8.
Congratulations.
Just yesterday.
Thank you, Imam. Again, please be seated, everybody. Unless I make you stand, we can make this go pretty quickly. Again, good afternoon. It truly is my honor and privilege to warmly welcome all of you to this historic swearing-in for Assemblyman Charles Fall. Today is a great day. Oh, wait a minute, wrong speech. Sorry. Charles is certainly a rising star with a bright future, a gentle giant driven by his love of his beautiful family and his community. Charles does not forget where he came from, nor those who came before him. Greats like Betty Connolly, the first woman to ever win elective office on Staten Island, who championed the rights for mental health when it was unheard of to do so. John Lavelle, a trailblazer in his own right, who we lost all too soon, who was a pioneer in bipartisanship. And Matt Titone, who I had the honor of serving with, the first openly gay elected official from Staten Island, who championed marriage equality, among others. Matt, thank you for your 12 years of service, and Godspeed to you at our Sergeant's Court. Thank you very much. And now, even more an historic first for this district, the swearing in of the first African-American and Muslim-American member of the Assembly to represent Staten Island.
Good afternoon. Welcome to PS 44. As we said, I'm the principal, Cassandra Lopez. truly amazed and inspired by how many people are here today. Mr. Fall, as some of you may know, is an alumni of PS44. This is where he spent years. I cannot say that I was the principal when he was a student here, and I will pretend it's because I'm not old enough to have possibly been the principal while he was here, even though my body tells me differently. And I must add, within enough distance that was allowed to campaign from the site. All rules were being followed. But it was quite inspiring to see that Mr. Fall clearly came from a community, a home, and a family that embraced his successes and supported him through each struggle, each hurdle, and each accomplishment. So I would like to take a moment and just say that was very impressive, and it was a privilege to meet you, Mr. and Mrs. Fall. So thank you for helping make your son to have this experience. I truly believe it takes a village for our children to be successful. And here at PS44, we have 786 students who need a village behind them. We are quickly on the rise, and we are going up and up and up we will go. And PS44 students are destined for great things. So I hope today is the first of many days that you will be joining us here at PS44. I hope today is the beginning of many partnerships, as you will have future opportunities to once again celebrate the successes of our alumni of PS44. So again, thank you so much for being here today. I look forward to the rest of the festivities, getting to talk to you more about how you can support us. And again, congratulations to Assembly Charles Fall. We at PS44 are extremely proud and honored to say that this is where you started, and we are privileged that you chose to come back here. So thank you once again.
Privilege to introduce the Comptroller of the City of New York, Scott Stringer.
First of all, I want to say to Charles, congratulations. This is the most important and special honor you can get from your family and communities by being elected to public office and serving in the state legislature, where every important piece of legislation will come your way. And I know without a doubt that you will be somebody who will be thoughtful, independent, transparent, and representing the people's business. I believe that Charles Fall is the real deal in politics. Let's give him another big round of applause. It's an honor to be here. And I want to say to all of you that this inauguration has special meaning, because this is the send-off. I also want to say that I've gotten to know Charles. Part of my job as controller, as you know, is to go out into the communities just like the mayor's office And we hire people who represent us because in a city of this size, you can't do it all yourself, so you have to hire the best and the brightest. But usually there's categories of people. There are mayor people, controller people, public advocate people. And what I want to say to Charles and the mayor's office today, that the folks in our office feel very related and special about Charles's election. They think that he also worked in the controller's office because of the way he comported himself building coalitions. And that's something that I think we can learn a lesson from. And finally, to my colleagues and clergy, I just want to say that Charles and I are very similar. First of all, we're both young dads. Don't do that to Charles. He has 2 young daughters, and I have 2 very young sons. Sir, they're not my grandchildren, they are my kids, so give me some help. And we also have something else in common. Both our wives are named Elise, and we both married up, no question, right? And lastly, we both believe very strongly that government can play a positive role in the lives of people and in Staten Island. So I just want to say to all of you, you picked right. You have somebody who's going to make a difference in Staten Island. He's also going to make a difference for the next generation of New Yorkers of diverse backgrounds who, when they look at Charles Fall, they're going to say, he represents me. And that's something that's very special today because he's a history maker and a trailblazer. Congratulations, Charles.
Thank you, Controller Stringer. Next, on behalf of the entire Albany delegation, our next speaker, not only representing himself, but representing Senator Lanza, Senator Savino, Assemblywoman Maliotakis, and Assemblyman Riley, is the Dean of the Staten Island delegation, the one, the only, Michael Cusick.
This is a great day. I think Lou gave that speech already. I want to just say that, today is a start for Charles Fall. Today's a celebration for Charles, for his family, his mom and dad, his brothers and sisters, his wife, his daughters. It's a celebration for him, for his accomplishment of getting elected, serving the people, having the opportunity to serve the people of the North Shore of Staten Island. But this is just the culmination. Those of you who know Charles know that this is what he deserves. This is what he's been working for. He hasn't been sitting aside plotting political moves. He's been out there working. He's been out there working for his community. And that's why today, yes, it's a celebration, it's a start of his office, but it's a beginning of his responsibility. His responsibility not only to his family, to make sure he stands by the Fall name, but it's a responsibility to his constituents, to the North Shore, to every single one of us in this room. It's a daunting task to take that responsibility, to be an elected official, to know that many people are counting on you and what you do and how you represent them. This is a man that I know is up for the task. Charles and I have gotten to know each other over the last number of years, working in the trenches, getting things done. And he always does it with a smile. The North Shore of Staten Island, the way it should be represented. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here as the senior member of the delegation. I'm here with my colleagues from Albany, the Albany delegation. We have with us Senator Savino is here. Of course, we have Nicole Mel. But I mention those people because today it's not just Charles moving forward. Those folks that I mentioned are now part of Charles's team to make sure that he delivers for you, to make sure that he gets the right resources to the North Shore. It can't be done alone. It's with the help of the Staten Island delegation, the help of our speaker, Carl Hastie. And that is why I believe Charles Fall is made for this job. Not just because he looks great on a poster. I mean, I want to get that poster behind me and hang it up in my office. I mean, he's out of a movie when it comes to what a politician's supposed to look like. But it's not his looks that got him elected. It's the hard work, and I know he is going to follow through. Ladies and gentlemen, as the senior member of the delegation and with the members of the delegation, I am proud to be here to welcome Charles Fall to the Staten Island delegation. Because I know we have a team member here who's going to do the right thing by Staten Island, who is going to deliver, and I am proud to call him assembly member, and I am proud to call him partner. Charles, congratulations and good luck, and we are there with you. Thank you so much.
Slancha. Thank you, Assemblyman.
At this time, we'd like to have a few speakers speak on behalf of Charles, and we'd like to call the Guyanese ambassador, Fatoumata Kaba, to say a few words.
I was supposed to travel today to Guinea, but I postponed my trip to be here with the family, with the friends, and with the fellow citizens Guinean. I'm very pleased to participate in his swearing-in ceremony. On behalf of the President of the Republic of Guinea, His Excellency Professor Alpha Condé, I would like to congratulate him for his victory. Assemblyman Charles Fall is an example of African dream. His father, Mr. Didier Fall, he is originally from Guinea, a Western African country which is well known in the world because of its important contribution to the liberation of the African countries and its important natural resources of bauxite, diamond, gold, and agriculture. Assemblyman Charles Fall was born and raised on the North Shore of Staten Island. Today, he continues his journey in politics. I'm not a politician, I'm a career diplomat, but I know a politician should never forget his or her campaign promises. I'm sure he will always attain the hope of people who elected him. He will never forget that he's a role model of Guinean diaspora in the United States of America. It's always clear that the trust placed on him by the citizens of Staten Island will inspire him. He will continue to work for the good of the people of this country. Finally, I want to reiterate my congratulations and wish him a great success. Thank you.
On behalf of the Building Bridges Coalition of Staten Island,
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of God, most gracious, most merciful, sorry. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this auspicious and blessed day. I'm honored to be here with all of you. I noticed that Imam Tamim Bakar, he did not use his 3 minutes. So probably I'll use some of his time he left. Not to say that his prayer was not meaningful or good. It's just that I wanted to share a story with you that shows who is Charles Fall. For me personally, Albanian community, Muslim community, Staten Island, and New York City. At 8th century, there was a scholar, Muslim scholar, his name is Ibrahim bin Adham. He was from a very rich family, a family that was ruling, not by sword, but by wisdom. After his day, he would go and make prayers, like most of the believers do. As he sits in his golden couch and a silk cloth, he hears footsteps on his roof. And he says, "Who is out there?" And the sounds come, says, "A friend." And he said, "What does my friend do on the roof of my house?" He said, "I was looking for my candle." I said, "Do you think that you can find your candle on the roof of my house?" He said, "As much as you're going to find God in a silk clothes and golden bed." That's when he understood that his life has to turn, to have deeper meanings. Ibrahim bin Adham has changed so many lives, and his teachings still changing so many lives. I knew Charles for almost a decade. A young man, and still is young, came to our mosque that interfaith activities that we do. We are very proud as a Staten Islanders that we are in this matter leading example in New York City. In March of this year, we'll have 21 years of interfaith activities that we do together. And Charles was member of that coalition. Later on, we started the Building Bridges Coalition, that not only that we pray together, but we work together and we celebrate together. Today is a great day for all of us, a great day for Charles and his family, and a great day for New York City and New York State. God bless you all. Thank you very much.
I'd like to say a few words.
Today, I'd like to congratulate you, Charles, dear Lord, for moment in your life and your career. It is with great appreciation that we stand to represent so many churches of the Christian faith on Staten Island to support you in our prayers and in our thoughts. When Charles first thought about running, I got a phone call from him, and he respected our community, and he respected what we stood for. It showed me he was the man that was committed to everyone. I'd like to encourage you with a comparative analysis of two young men who have risen to power. The first one sought advice from elders, and after they advised him to work collaboratively with the citizens, he turned to his peers and asked them what to do, and his peers gave him the opposite advice, resulting in a divided nation. Now contrast that with the young king who was approached with information about the country. That young man listened, took action, and brought the people together. The success of your leadership, Mr. Fall, will not come by yourself, but by aligning with those who can offer you wisdom, so that every bill you sign and decision you make will bring people together and not divide them further. You are saddled with the responsibility of representing Democrats, Republicans, young, elderly, sick, and well, educated and uneducated, insured and uninsured, Black, white, Muslim, Christian, Hindi, Buddhist, Jewish, Catholic, Hispanic, Latino, Asian, Indian, Native, Arabic, and the list goes on. You now represent them all. And this technology down your years.
Now the moment we've all been waiting for. It is my pleasure to introduce to you my former colleague, the Speaker of the New York State Assembly, my good friend, Carl Heastie.
It's good to be with Lou, better known as Superman. You all remember the story about Lou being such a good public servant. But it's good to be with all of you, all the way from the Bronx. I had to leave yesterday to be here. But it's good to be joined by my really good friend and former colleague, the Bronx Borough President, Ruben Diaz Jr., who traveled out here, as well as Steve Charles. I'm going to kind of step out this way. So, for me, it's a pleasure to be here. And I remember a couple of months ago, Charles asked me to be here, and I said I would make my vacation plans to come and stay on Staten Island so that I could be here for his inauguration. But really, it is a good time to really be elected. And if you look at Charles's history, you can already see he's already been doing the job of a public servant, and now he gets to take it to the very next level in being an elected official. And there's no greater time to be in Albany right now than the present, particularly what's going on in Washington, and the fact that now we do have two houses of the legislature that are both in Democratic hands. So a lot of legislation, a lot of important legislation, and no offense to my good Republican colleagues I see there as well, to be able to get some really good things done. And so I just want to just say two things. And Charles, I know how proud you are and how proud your family is, particularly when you become the first, and the first African American to hold this seat. I remember when I became the first African American speaker. But the one thing that I always kept in mind, and I think that your history has already showed, it is great to be the first, but that's not what you want to be known for. You want to be known for the works of the community. And the second thing is, I'm so happy there because I would have done anything to get rid of Matt Titone. I gave him money, I gave him support. I almost volunteered to be his campaign manager when he said it. No, but in all seriousness, it's great to have Charles, but it is, I am sad to see Matt go. He was an excellent representative of the United States. And when there's there's 107 members of the Assembly, and that's a lot of people from a lot of different places, a lot of different ethnicities, a lot of different religions. But I got to tell you, Matt was one of the people that I could always depend on to help keep, I'd say, the place sane. So thank you, Matt, from the bottom of my heart, and I will miss you. And so, to Charles, and, you know, representing the Bronx, and again, I know my borough president can attest to this, sometimes Staten Island falls into the same position as the Bronx. We sometimes seem to be the forgotten boroughs. But I want to tell you, with me being the Speaker of the Assembly, and with Charles being there, Staten Island will not be a forgotten borough. Staten Island. So you've heard from a lot of speakers and a lot of people, and again to his parents, you've done such an amazing job. I promise to take good care of him. Thank you for entrusting me with him. And to his beautiful wife and daughters, I apologize already for those long days and long weeks that you may not be able to see him, but we'll try to send him home as quickly as we can. So, for all of your family members who are going to come up, let's get to the oath of office.